Welcome to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Noethling. You are about to discover impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you, so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Be sure you visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now tune in, get ready, and enjoy the journey of emerging as a leader of exception in the 21st century.
Welcome, everyone, to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast. I'm your host, Vicki Noethling, coming to you from Roswell, Georgia. The goal of this podcast is to bring topics and guests that will empower you to become that confident leader and take your business and your life to the next level. Today, I am pleased to have with me Rebecca Fitzsimmons, and let me tell you about Rebecca. Rebecca is the founder of Tactical Harmony, an online business dedicated to mentoring ambitious professionals and businesses on holistic leadership and mindset strategies. She's also the host of Tactical Harmony podcast, which she shares game-changing, transformative tactics, supporting her community to gracefully navigate their career and home life while enjoying freedom, abundance, and bliss. Over the last 2 decades, Rebecca served on an NCIS as an NCIS Special Agent and as a senior leader at a technology company. Throughout her global experience living and working around the world, 9+ years of which were in the leadership ranks, Rebecca saw firsthand how holistic leadership was the answer to every challenge. And now it is Rebecca's mission and pledge to share these lessons and blessings with the world. Today, we're going to talk about a subject that I love to bring to the podcast, and that is mindset mastery. So important to leadership. And so please join me in welcoming my guest, Rebecca Fitzsimmons.
Thank you
Rebecca.
so much for having me.
I am so excited about this discussion. And, I gave a little bit of your business background, but just talk to us a little bit about the backstory, about really what was that pivotal moment that said, I'm going to really devote my life to this cause.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be honored to. So it was through years of not only my professional experience, but also my personal experience of living and working around this beautiful world that we have. I've had the honor and privilege to serve in so many different field offices here in the United States. I lived overseas in Italy for many years. And not only did I live in Europe, but I had the opportunity to serve so many countries, such as Ukraine and Romania and the Netherlands. And I got to see firsthand how these holistic leadership and mindset strategies impact everybody, every culture, every industry. And I can say that with confidence because having left NCIS for about almost 15 years, and then spending several years in a technology company, it was the same mindset strategies, the same holistic leadership that impacted every industry, every level, every professional. If you were a traditional leader, like in a leadership position, or if you were an individual contributor, it didn't matter. It was the same strategy. So to answer your question, that really was the genesis of why I created and opened my business, Tactical Harmony, because I'm so passionate about holistic leadership and how it can allow you and equip you with the tools and the strategies to step into the fullness of your gifts and to break any glass ceiling that you might have, whatever that looks like for you. And so that's what I do now. And I'm so blessed to be a coach and a speaker and to be able to share these tried and true tactics with so many incredible professionals and leaders in our world.
Awesome. You can hear that passion in your voice and enthusiasm. And, that's another big part of it as well. So, how does integrating the mind, the body, and the spirit transform your approach to leadership and business?
Yeah. So for your audience, I think it's important to provide a quick definition of what the heck is holistic leadership, right? We might know what leadership is, and we've heard the word holistic, and we may not be able to pair the two. And I really want to make sure that I add that clarity. And holistic leadership is a whole person approach. So that's your mind, your body, your spirit, like all parts of you, to influence and inspire yourself as well as others. So
Mm.
often we start on the outside of us. If we're a leader, we're looking at, oh, I have a mission or a vision to execute. I have this project in front of me. I have this task. I have whatever it is. And you start on the outside of you. And, you're running a team, a business, and you're making sure deadlines are met and your cup overflows. Like this is business as usual. But what if we started with ourselves? Because if you can't lead yourself, you can't lead others. And I say this all over my website, my Instagram, my LinkedIn, awaken the leader within. And I truly mean that because all parts of you,
Mhm.
your mind, your body, it's not separate from each other, right? Like there's so much interconnectedness, your spirit. And by that, I mean who you are, what lights you up in this world, what's your purpose, your values, like that's the essence of your spirit, your highest purpose, what you were put here to do. And then the mind, the body, and the thoughts and the limiting beliefs and how that affects our body and our biochemistry. It's this beautiful marriage. You can't have one without the other. So when we have that self mastery and we can master our internal world, internal work drives these external results. So if I can anchor into my emotional intelligence and all parts of me, I'm a more meaningful and
Mhm.
impactful leader for my teams, but not only in the traditional business sense, but also how I lead my family, how I lead
Mhm.
my life, my finances, my relationships. That leadership translates to all parts of your life, which is that holistic, no stone left unturned approach. So when we really start to tend and nourish to all parts of us, it's really game changing because your life and how you experience it changes and you're more
Mhm.
tapped in, tuned in to your people, to your teams, to your clients, your customers, to your husband, your wife, your kids. It's a whole different way when you take that radical accountability for all parts of you and then all things going on in your outer world as well.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people, especially, um, the entrepreneurs, the solopreneurs, they start this new career and they think, well, I'm doing this because I've been there, done that, and they forget about the fact that you have continued to grow and evolve, but have you really looked at, is everything you're doing right? Have you got comfortable and created some habits that maybe aren't serving you as well as necessary? So, can you just share a specific mindset of a shift that led to a breakthrough in either your career or maybe one of your clients?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's important too, as you as you called out habits. Habits are so important because it's how we experience time.
Yeah.
And time is
Mhm.
our greatest currency. And a very sobering thought is we don't know what the balance is. We don't know how much time we have. So
Yeah.
how we spend and invest every single moment, like think of it as like currency and money, like it's the currency of life. It flows, right? And it's really important to really anchor down like how am I spending my time? And so
Mhm.
to answer your question, I would say, I mean, there's so many, but I would say since we're really focusing on mindset, it's the power of thoughts. I
Mhm.
mean, think about, people say, oh, thinking about it just makes me sick, which really anchors into your mind and your body and how it's all connected and how we can spend time. I mean, think about when you wake up in the morning, most people usually start to think about their problems. And then when we
Mhm.
do that, we're putting our body and our brain in the past. Why does that matter? Our body does not know the difference between a real or imagined experience. our brain is 2 million years old. It's Jurassic, it's old, and it's designed to keep us safe in the known and in the familiar. So when we want to grow, well, that requires you to go outside your comfort zone. And you just talked about, yeah, people get comfortable, right? So discomfort is a sign of growth. And that
Mm-hmm.
requires a mindset shift. It requires us to be ever so mindful of what we're thinking about, especially when you first wake up in the morning, you're coming in those certain brain waves that allow you to program your subconscious. This is why meditation is so important. And so we need to train ourselves to shift that, because if I'm thinking about bad things, then I'm dumping bad chemicals in my body and I'm putting my body into the past. And why that matters is I can't create the future. I can't create anything when I'm living in the past and in a scarcity mindset or from a place of lack. You can't create from that. So having a gratitude practice and really just getting yourself into, you know what, there's so many things to be grateful for, to include your problems, because
Mm-hmm.
that's life's call to action. Time to get stronger. Let's go. Let's accelerate. Let's get after it. That's a opportunity to build muscle, and of course to be grateful for water and the ability to have clean, clean water and food and whatever you have. And when you do that, you're raising your vibration and your frequency, you're setting your body up for the day. Your mindset's going to be better to attack whatever you have on your to-do list. And so it's really, really, really important to focus on what we're thinking about, how we're talking to ourselves, and how we talk to others. Because your word is your wand, and they carry, words carry power and frequency. So if I am saying really bad things and very critical things to myself or others, the world's going to mirror that. The world will, it's a crystallization of everything that I have called in. So I need to be so mindful of how I'm talking to myself and others, and make sure that it's an invigorating and empowering way. So then I'm posturing myself for success for my business, for my team, for my family, and all of that. So I would say it's really being so aware of your thoughts, which then lead you to becoming aware of any limiting beliefs you may have. So then you can start to take out that emotional charge and really clear up any junk that's holding you back. So then you can step into that next level of power.
Yeah. So, what strategies have you found most effective in building resilience, and whenever you have those unavoidable sometimes setbacks? I mean,
Yeah.
especially if we are doing something new, challenging ourselves, we know that we don't know everything, and
Mm-hmm.
and so there will be setbacks. There will be times where we've got to learn something new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the big thing is, well, there's so many strategies, but a couple I would say is viewing situations as they are, not worse, and being aware of your brain, because again, the subconscious mind, it wants you to be safe. So any movie you haven't seen before or situation, even if it might be a blessing in disguise or an opportunity for you, it's gonna give you that, that jolt of self-doubt,
Mm,
question your self-worth, fear. And so, what I do with my clients is I challenge them to redefine the relationship with fear. Because what is courage but nothing more than I'm going to feel a little hesitant or scared, or I don't know if I can do this, but I move forward anyways. I still put myself out there. I still open my business. I still, crush whatever it
mhm,
is, despite the fear. I hold hands with it, I dance with it. And so it really is liberating, and it gives, folks a permission slip to move forward, even
mhm,
if they realize, oh, you know what, I'm scared. But every successful person in this world has that, but they just harness it and they move forward anyways. They take messy
mhm.
action. And they take imperfect action, because perfect doesn't exist. It's the lowest standard.
That's exactly.
Right? So it's that progress and continuing to move forward. And then you're given the gift of feedback. So you're able to figure it out, what's working, what's not. And then you're able to harness that feedback and pivot, adjust, whatever you need to do. So seeing the situation for what it is and better, what you can do, because you can't solve a problem in the same consciousness it was created in. So that requires you to get into a higher level of consciousness, to feel good, right? So you're nourishing your mind, your body, your spirit. You got that holistic leadership locked in, your mindset's good. And then you start to think clearer of possible solutions or things of like, you know what? Although this may seem like a little negative right now and I'm not really comfortable, man, am I going to build these muscles ahead of time? Like I'm going to build some really cool stuff and skill sets on the other side of this. I'm going to look back and be really proud of myself. And one additional thing that I wanted to answer for you when you asked about resilience, and hilariously, I actually just dropped a podcast this morning where I talked about this. So this is funny, is people think sometimes that resilience needs to be built when you're facing some sort of, adversity or a really tough situation. That's when you
Right.
build it. But you build it ahead of time. And this is what I've always told my teams over the years. Because when you think about muscle, when you're building muscle, you're pushing against something hard. I'm lifting weights. I'm doing something that is not like, I'm not just lifting air, I'm lifting something hard. You can do that ahead of time. You don't need some crisis to do that. So that could be taking 5-10 minutes. And I always, this is a strategy I give my clients, like do this in a small bit, make it easy to accomplish. Everyone
Right.
has 5 or 10 minutes, and then do something that maybe is a little uncomfortable. I usually lift 10, pound weights, make it 12 or 13. Do something a little harder, do extra reps, go outside and, go for a walk first thing in the morning, 5 minutes. You don't normally do that. You're usually on your phone, checking your email or drinking your coffee or whatever it is. Something you don't normally do that's going to make your subconscious mind and your body go, whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait, Rebecca, you're used to being in the traffic at this time, getting angry, and it's rush hour, and you're usually so angry. And then you meet the person in the office that usually you gossip with, and then you start to become aware, wow, am I programmed? Whoa, that's my old blueprint. And the becoming process is the overcoming your old program, your old
Right.
blueprint. So you start to be like, whoa, was I really that, like, as we call muscle memory? Wow, was I on autopilot? I didn't even realize. So then you're building resilience, you're building grit, you're doing some good stuff for you, right? Like you're doing whatever it is. Again, 5-10 minutes, 15 max. Just make it easy to fit in, do something uncomfortable, and then you're building resilience and grit. So you have that foundation. So when all hell breaks loose and when uncertainty and turbulent times come in, because a lot of people are facing that right now, you have that foundation to be able to
Yeah.
respond more effectively.
Great advice. Great advice. Early on, you talked about, you know, really touched on the fact of emotional intelligence and self-awareness. So let's talk about emotional intelligence. This is something that I teach too in my leadership training and the role that it has in your leadership style. So, what are some practical tips that you share for developing emotional intelligence?
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. I love that it's becoming more of a topic that leaders and businesses and companies are training on because many moons ago when I entered the leadership ranks, it wasn't something that was really talked about. I mean,
Oh,
unless
yeah.
you know what I mean? And I'm like,
Oh,
whoa,
yeah.
that's so important. And one of my, I don't want to say the word gripe, that doesn't sound fair, but I don't think leaders, especially new leaders, are getting the training they need.
I
And
agree.
you could have an amazing resume and you could be an incredible professional, but that does not mean you are going to be an incredible leader. You have to build,
Absolutely.
you have to learn things. So to answer your question about emotional intelligence, I think sometimes, and this is the best workplace indicator. I mean, as you know, I mean, you're an expert in this.
Hmm.
IQ is great, but EQ, that
Hmm.
emotional quotient. So just having that awareness of yourself and regulation
Hmm.
translates to then how I can look at others and have that relationship management and awareness of them. The strongest leaders, and I have worked with powerful leaders in the military, in law enforcement, in so many countries around this world. The strongest, most powerful, impactful leaders that these are the ones that if they leave, you follow them. You're
Hmm.
going to go with them
I
because they
know.
just got that follow. They have the highest EQ. And so, how to build that? Well, goodness, there's so much. I mean, one, you got to know what it is. But it leads me back to holistic leadership because emotional intelligence is a key part of that. You got to master all parts of yourself. How
Yeah.
can I lead you if I can't lead all parts of me? I got to have a regulated nervous system. I got to know what's going on inside. I can't just fly off the handle when something doesn't go my way. I can't react to everything. I need to have a proper response. I got to have that awareness of, okay, I'm a human, which means I'm going to have emotions. That's part of being a human. And as part of that, I'm going to know that I'm going to have the spectrum of those. But living in anger and frustration, or perhaps taking things personally, that's a huge trap. That's not going to make you an effective leader. So we got to detach from our ego. And that's probably the number one strategy, just in interest of time today. I got to detach from my ego. I got to exist in a humble state and really think about all parts of me and all things going on in my world and how I can take ownership of absolutely everything. Things that went well, things that didn't go well. My communication is, I always tell my teams, for anyone that might be listening who's on my team, I don't believe in communication. I believe in effective communication. Effective communication. And that is very different because I can say a lot, but it doesn't mean anything. But when I say something and mean something, that's a whole different game
Yeah.
because, as I said earlier, our word is our wand. So we really need to be mindful of how we're communicating, how we're feeling, and how we're managing that. And it starts with ourselves because leaders set the tone and the example. If I'm right, like if I am flying off the handle, or if I get angry or frustrated, or I'm absent, or I don't create a psychologically safe space for my team to be able to share things for me. I mean, I elicit feedback all the time. Every one-on-one with my team, I'm like, hey, give me some feedback. What do we got? Feedback for me, feedback for this, feedback for that. It's continuous. So we create that culture of it. So everyone feels very safe to heighten their EQ. Ooh, maybe I responded not so well. I'm going to own that. And I'm going to get better next time. Because the goal is not to be perfect. It's to have that progress and have that continuous self-improvement, which is Kaizen, which is a Japanese term that I absolutely love. Focus on getting 1% better each day,
Yeah.
continuous improvement. That way it just takes the pressure off, and then you're getting better and better and better. 6 months in a year, you're on top of the world.
Awesome. So, what do you wish you knew early on in this career that you had that might have helped you achieve success sooner, or would you have wanted it to come sooner?
Mm. It would be the importance of nurturing all parts of me, especially when I entered the leadership ranks many moons ago. I was stationed at our NCIS headquarters in Quantico. It was all traditional leadership and like how you're leading your teams and all the things. And luckily, I had somebody that gifted me the book Extreme Ownership by Jocko. And so I really adopted those principles. I mean, year one when I became a leader, and that was amazing. But what I wish I would have known was, I'm feeding my body like physical training, PT, and law enforcement, the military. I mean, that is a standard. Like we're constantly working our bodies out. So I had that locked in, but I didn't feed my mind or my spirit, right? Like I didn't take that time to really feel good or take the vacation or whatever that was. And I mean, listen, that wasn't NCIS's fault. That was Rebecca's fault. Like again, I got to own
Mm.
everything. I could have done that, but I had this immense pressure, especially some of the teams that I led. Well, I have to be there and I don't want to miss anything. And so I neglected the mind and the spirit. And so I
Mm.
wasn't really operating at the peak because right now I'm feeling great. I make a concerted effort to nurture all parts of me through meditation, through physical training, through continuous reading and development and seminars. Like I do whole person. I'm working less. I have more, abundance in time. I'm feeling great. And I'm like, wow, I wish I could go back to that young leader, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Say, listen, like workaholic, listen, did that achieve success? Did you accomplish the mission? Yes. But you could have done it so much more, like you could have done it with more ease and flow if you would have opened and created the space to call in some of these other parts of you. And it just, it requires growing up, maturity, life
Mhm.
experience. And so that's why I'm so passionate because I'm telling these baby leaders now and aspiring leaders, here are the tools and strategies so they come out the gate stronger, better, leaner, faster.
And the thing is your body will thank you later when you take care of it now. Because if you're go, 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 because you're, trying for that top ring or whatnot, but at some point, your body is going to not cooperate. And so, what type of life do you want whenever you've reached that ring? How are you going to be physically, mentally, if you don't feed it all along the way?
Yes, it's so true. And your body really does keep the score. And especially in law enforcement, we see a lot of really tough things and a lot of trauma, and that secondary trauma, like it has to go somewhere. And so it's essential to have coping mechanisms, but understanding that you have to move with that, not just physically. So what is emotion but energy in motion, right? We have an
Hmm.
energetic body. We do. Like there's electromagnetic fields around our heart and our brain. We can measure this, which is why having it in coherence, and meditation is a way to get us there. I wish I would have done that many years ago. um,
Hmm.
Allows you to have a regulated nervous system. And when I have a regulated nervous system, my immune system enhances. I'm literally elongating the telomeres, which are the end of like DNA. And I'm like, whoa, I'm feeling so good. I'm like literally like having more years added to my life. I'm feeling great. Like literally, I just feel like energy is just overflowing, right? It's liberated energy, right? So particles and waves. And I know I'm getting into neuroscience, but it really does matter because neurons that fire together wire together. Why does that matter? Because we can create a new brain. And I follow Dr. Joe Dispenza, whom I learned this from. I've studied for years. And I'm like, wow, we are so powerful. Like we can overcome and transcend anything, which makes you a really, really awesome, amazing leader. And so I started to adopt these principles and do these things. I'm like, whoa, this is incredible. And it doesn't matter what trauma you've personally experienced or you've witnessed, again, especially in law enforcement. And we're making this selfless sacrifice, all of my respect and gratitude, but your body has to you got to move through that. And so yeah, I was PTing, but there's other things you need to do mentally, and you need to do these other things like meditation. I keep bringing that up because that is it's such a way to really clear the space and move through things. And going in nature, I'm in Montana, I'm looking at the mountains. That's a form of meditation. I go outside, I breathe in
Yeah.
fresh air. I anchor into this moment. I'm mindful. It's one of the chapters in my book because it's so important. When I'm mindful, then this is the spot that I can create from, not the past. That's done.
Yeah.
Not the future. It's now. And
Be in
oh,
the
the
present.
clarity. Yeah. So anyway, I
Yeah.
could talk all day. I'll stop.
Oh, yeah, we could have a whole discussion on being in the present for sure. Absolutely. Well, it's been so great having this conversation with you. I thank you for sharing all of your insights, your stories, and really strategies for the audience. I hope they all took heed of that and wrote a lot of notes. Of course, I will be sharing the contact information for Rebecca. If you are just listening, you can go quick grab a paper and pencil that you should have had from the beginning. I told you it was going to be a good session. But if not, you can get everything on my YouTube channel, Vicki Noethling. So if you haven't done so, please do subscribe, as well as my Find Your Leadership Confidence website. So for those listening, you want to go to Tactical Harmony. Again, that's tacticalharmony.com. And the LinkedIn is Rebecca Fitzsimmons Tactical Harmony. Instagram is Tactical Harmony. Twitter is Soul Aligned. Podcast is Tactical Harmony. And you can find that on Apple. Just search Tactical Harmony, as well as Spotify and iHeart. I'm going to turn it over to Rebecca. She'll let you know a little bit about her book, Unleashed, which we didn't really talk about today too much. So share a little bit about your book, Unleashed, as well as what you'll find if you go to Tactical Harmony. Some of the links, resources are there, and the area on social media that you spend the most time. So if they DM you, they know they'll get a quick response. So it's all
Yeah.
yours.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So yeah, Unleashed Holistic Leadership Insights from Our Canine Companions. I derive wisdom from unconventional places, and I truly believe that we can learn something anywhere. Every person is a teacher, every experience, and as it were, every dog. And I am a dog lover. I love dogs, and I have always been inspired by them. And it was a few years ago when I was stationed in San Diego, California, that I had this thought when I was, for those that you know, the La Jolla area is beautiful, overlooking the Pacific
Yes.
Ocean, having lunch
Yes.
with my husband, and it was like a download. It came to me, and I went, dogs naturally display holistic leadership, mind, body,
Mhm.
spirit. They're mindful. They understand gratitude. They understand the importance of adventure and curiosity. And as leaders, we know influence and taking inspired action is a big deal. That's another chapter. And they understand the importance of their body and, grounding and being outside in nature. Discipline, which I affectionately define as the ultimate expression of self-love, they've got that locked in. And it just came to me, and I took out my iPhone and I wrote down all the chapters. And then, as it were, a few years later, here I am, and I wrote the book, and it's out in the world. So you can find it on Amazon and paperback and ebook. And these principles really do, it's all about holistic leadership. These are the principles that make effective leaders. And again, not just in the traditional sense of the word, but how you lead your life, your business, your finances, relationships, your kids, all of the things. So if you're a dog lover, you'll love it. And these principles apply to all domains of your life. And then the second part of your question, my website, tacticalharmony.com, it has all of my coaching services. So I currently offer one-on-one. I do group, I do master classes, workshops, whatever, I can tailor it to your specific needs. I do keynote speaking, and then my podcast is on there and the book and all of the things. And lastly, I spend the most time on LinkedIn and Instagram. So if you message me on either one, especially LinkedIn, if I had to choose, you're going to get me, not somebody else. Oops, I'm sorry, I hit the microphone there. You're going to get me. And I would be honored to work with anybody. And thank you so much from the bottom of my heart having me on today. I had an amazing conversation, and I hope your audience absolutely took something great from this, and just honored to serve and be here.
Well, Rebecca, it was my pleasure having you on. I think that we're so aligned in what we believe, and the experiences that we've had just prove that this is what we need to be doing. And I agree with you. There are so many young people that need the mentors and the guidance of how to truly be a leader in the 21st century, and they aren't getting it from their companies and their businesses. And so, I love that there are people like you and I out there just offering our services, giving back. I retired in 2018, and it was just something that I needed to do, is to go and give back, because I saw such a hole in the world, and we want to make the world a better place, and that's by having holistic leadership for sure. So thank you so much for being a great guest.
Thank you so very much.
As always, I remind everyone that life is a journey, and it's up to you to enjoy the ride. This is Vicki Noethling, signing off.
Thank you for tuning into the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Noethling, where we share impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Remember to visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast.